Last year, South Alabama won 76-74 in Mobile. And as far as South Alabama's concerned, Mickey, two guys not here. One, Samuel Choctaw, a freshman from Kentucky. He's out with an ACL injury. And Desmond Williams, he is a freshman from Baker in Mobile, and he's going to redshirt this year.
Yeah, this will be an interesting test for Jacksonville State. South Alabama does something that the Gamecocks haven't seen so far this year. They pretty much go exclusively with a 2-3 zone, so Gamecock three-point shooters will need to be on their game tonight.
Chase Harris gets the ball knocked away from him, and the jump ball has it going in South Alabama's direction. The Jaguars are in the red. The Gamecocks in the gray with the red and black trim. Randy Brady, 33 rebounds. That leads the team. He inbounds it. Cooper being watched by Jacoby Hill. Cooper drives in. Cooper fall away from the paint, and he gets it to go. So Jaden Cooper, who averages 10.4 a ball game, draws the first points, and it's a 2-0 lead for South Alabama.
Jaguars actually set up first in this 1-3-1, which they don't use as often as the 2-3, but they open that up here against the Gamecocks tonight.
There's the bounce inside. It won't go, but the rebound is put back by Emondrick Erkins-Ford off the miss by Mustafa El Mutau Akil. Now driving the lane and wandering into the paint was Chase Harris. There's a foul on the Gamecocks. It'll be the first on Emondrick Erkins-Ford.
Nice drive, nice take to the hoop here, and we've got two guys that can really get downhill, one for each team, and we just saw them on consecutive possessions. That time Harris, a moment ago for Jacksonville State, El Mutau Akil.
Here's Adam Olson, number 12. Shoots it off the mark. AC Bryant pulls down the rebound to Nash. Right side, back to AC for three. Got it. AC Bryant gives the Gamecocks their first lead, a 1-point advantage. Make it 3, correction. It's a 5-2 ball game. Very vocal crowd tonight as a floater to his left for Jaden Cooper.
Yeah, that was a nice take there by Cooper. The defense was good. Cooper just had to hit a tough kind of fall away jumper.
Had 22 against Alcorn State.
He's one of their top 3 options as well offensively.
A 3 for Bryant, no good off the front of the rim. Rebound by Mustafa. Mo kicks it back outside. Bryant for 3 again. And with the reverse spin on it, it finds the range. And it's an 8-4 Gamecock lead.
And that is a good sign for Jacksonville State. When you talk about someone zoning you and needing to shoot the 3 ball, for Jacksonville State, it all starts with number 0, AC Bryant, and he's off to a good start. 2 for 3 from 3.
AC, the transfer from Alabama A&M, also played at Marion Military Institute earlier in his collegiate career. Ball knocked loose, and it's deflected, and it goes to the Gamecocks. Doug Showers made that call from across the floor.
And that's a little unusual to see so far this year for South Alabama. Very efficient in the turnover department. One of the best teams in the Sun Belt in turnover efficiency. So Gamecocks able to turn them over there early.
Underneath, the layup won't go, but they're going to call it. A goaltending call.
And nice work on the baseline by Erkins Ford against that 1-3-1. You'll see it here. That's going to be there. That was a great pass. South Alabama in that 1-3-1, they're going to have to be alert to the baseline. Jack State's got some guys that can attack that area of the floor on the offensive end.
The head coach of the Jaguars has asked Joe Lindsey, are you sure that there was contact underneath to knock the ball away from the basket? And there will be no review.
I'm with you, Eli. I sense a little bit of energy in the building tonight. We've got the Jack State pep band back in action here, which always makes the atmosphere a little more lively. But I think the crowd understands this is a pretty good early season non-conference game that the Gamecocks have on their schedule.
And a number of folks have driven up from Mobile to see this one. Here's the bounce to the baseline. Body work hard. Peyton Law, no, and the rebound, Mustafa. Peyton Law, he's 20th in the NCAA in field goal percentage. Didn't get that one to fall. Here now Mustafa feeds inside, and a little hook rolls away. Compliments of Erkins Ford. Now the Jaguars. Olsen bouncing inside. Ball knocked away from Peyton Law. Rebounded, though, by the Jaguars in a long three-point try. Off the mark for Brady, and the rebound by Mustafa.
Gamecocks already hitting the offensive glass against this zone look. When you play zone, you leave yourself a little vulnerable.
Rebounds are 6-2 in favor of the Gamecocks. Shot doesn't go. Cooper pulls down the board. They wait. They go to the paint. Gyrating, dishing. Boy, they collapsed in on Brady beautifully, the defense did. Shot clock at 12. And the hook is good for Peyton Law.
Peyton Law, strong player, 6'4", and very physical. Used his body well there to create enough space to get the half hook shot in.
Again, he is 20th in the NCAA in field goal percentage at 70.1. That personal foul brings us to a timeout. Timeout with 15:30 remaining in the first. 10-6. Jacksonville. Here's Coach Ray Harper and his undefeated Gamecocks. National rankings, 147th is where you'll find JSU. South Alabama at 202. But again, it's very, very early in the season, and the power rankings are not really indicative of anything. Gamecocks were picked 7th in Conference USA by the coaches, and currently, of course, lead with an undefeated record. Mustafa dishes. Jacoby Hill to Nash. Mustafa, hello, and there's going to be a foul, and count it. Nice to draw the personal.
You see South Alabama got real aggressive out at the top of the 1-3-1, kind of left the middle of the lane a little soft, and Jack State attacked there, and nice offensive work against the zone.
Ball goes out of bounds off the miss. It'll be South Alabama going the other way. Just getting going here in Jacksonville, Alabama. Eli Gold, Mickey Shadricks, and our ESPN Plus crew on hand here. Hawthorne outside to Olsen. Olsen bumps in, bumps twice. Turnaround, it's short, and played by the Gamecocks, Bryant. He'll leave it off for Jay Nash. Then on the baseline try, it's too strong. Rebound is not even there. It goes airborne, and it's taken by the Jaguars. Hawthorne outside. Shooting percentages not particularly strong right now. down in the 33 percentile for South Alabama, the low 40% for the Gamecocks. AC Bryant got it. That'll bring that percentage up.
That is his third three here in the first half. You couldn't have asked for a better start for Bryant against a team that likes to play zone.
9-point lead for JSU. Here's Nash running the floor. Mustafa thought about it, then takes it. Kicked out. And the rebound pulled off by Williams. He'll leave it for Hawthorne. Nash watching him in the man-to-man. Mustafa, long arms reaching in, and now they're going to get him on that reach in. It'll be the first on Mustafa.
Jack State being very physical on the defensive end, doing a nice job of making the Jaguars a little uncomfortable, which I think is contributing to their poor shooting percentage. Only 3 of 10 from the field in the first few minutes of this game for South Alabama.
They've made one of their last 7 and have had a scoring drought of 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Here now Harris. Kicks it outside. Hawthorne drives on the defense. And the rebound pulled off by Vungo. Bensal Vungo in the ball game. He wears number 5 for Jack State. Fitzgerald also in. Marcus Fitzgerald with the number 1 on his back. Here's Fitzgerald. The bounce down to the left side. And it's going to be an out of bounds, standing out of bounds, a turnover on Jacksonville State.
Yeah, you got to watch that when you're positioned in the corner, spreading the floor. Jacoby Hill lining up a little bit too far out, lost track of where he was.
2 turnovers for the Gamecocks, 1 for the Jaguars of South Alabama. Miroslav Niagu with the brace on his left knee. He's inside, and he causes the big traffic jam.
Well, these top-notch officials letting them play a little bit here early.
They are. Again, if you're just joining us, all 3 of these officials have worked many Final Fours. And there's another 3-point shot for AC Bryant. 12-point Gamecock advantage. Baseline shot, foul, and it won't go. It'll be a 2-shot opportunity here. AC with 12 early points.
Yeah, and I'm sure the Jack State coaches challenged AC to come out and be focused and ready to shoot. He is a catch and shoot player, and he has showed that here in this first half. Off to a great start, 4 for 6 from 3. And this guy here, Eli, he had a great game last time South Alabama played. He was 9 of 12 from the floor, but Jack State has really dialed in on Mr. Adam Olson, trying to make things difficult for him in the first half here.
He was the MVP of the showdown in St. Petersburg, where South Alabama won both ball games. And it's a 10-point lead now for the Gamecocks, 18-8, as you see. Full court pressure. Brought up the floor by Nadozi to Fitzgerald. And he'll shoot over the D for 3. Marcus Fitzgerald. It's going to be his 3rd tray of the year. Gamecocks up. And there's a block on Niagu. Joe Lindsay being asked about that by head coach Ray Harper. But there's the shooting right there. I don't care who you are. That's going to win for you. We've got timeout here in Jacksonville with a lot of sky shots finding the range. We are back. Eli Gold, Mickey Sandricks, 21-18. Excuse me, 21-8. The Gamecocks comfortably on top.
And they're shooting the three ball very well. Gamecocks 5 of 9 from 3. And of course, AC Bryant has 4 of those. Marcus Fitzgerald off the bench with the other one. But a nice start shooting the ball against South Alabama's zone.
They had 15 trays against Reinhardt. And this is no Reinhardt. No, this is a real bona fide opponent.
And this is a team that gives up more threes than any team in the country. Coach Richie Riley really sold out to this zone approach defensively a couple of years ago. Gamecocks are going to have their opportunities. It'll be interesting to see if they can keep up this pace. But off to a good one.
Yeah, Riley is a 42-year-old head coach. A youngin'. Fitzgerald to the corner, and another tray. Boy, I'll tell you, when Ben Salzbungo can shoot like that, you're going to have yourself a good night.
Yeah, and that gets him energized. He is an electric player, especially on the boards, and you can tell he is juiced after making his first outside shot attempt off the bench.
Hans Lewis June wears number 4 for the Jaguars. Here he is with the ball. And that one is true. Hantz, H-A-N-T-Z, Lewis June, J-E-U-N-E, from Fort Worth, Florida, or Lake Worth, Florida, excuse me. And there's a foul over the top as Niago gets massaged.
Yeah, that's putting it nicely.
Yeah.
That was a, he got his money's worth out of that massage.
Yep.
Took a good shot. South Alabama needed that 3. That's their first triple of the game.
Gamecocks. The feed goes into the backcourt, and it's going to be turned over to South Alabama's Jaguars. Turnover number 3 for Jack State. South Alabama has 1. Chase Harris brings it across the timeline, and there's the whistle. Toby Ndozi picks up the personal foul there.
And you see him drawing the assignment of Harris. Coach Harper likes to get him off the bench and put him in there against the other team's best driver, and that's what you got here with this matchup with those two.
Of course, Ndozi was the MEAC Defensive Player of the Year before he came here while playing for Coppin State. There's a block by Niago. Ball's on the floor, and who's got it? It'll be a shot clock violation. A shot clock violation. And here come substitutions for the Jaguars. Peyton Law checks in, Adam Olson checks in, and Jaden Cooper will check in for Coach Richie Riley.
That was a great block by Niago. The penetrator got into the paint. You see a lot of big guys in that situation. They'll leave their feet. They'll come down with their arm. Niago kept his feet on the floor, arm straight up in the air, used that 7-foot body and that wingspan to block the shot and not pick up the foul.
You see them drying off the hardwood. Gamecocks in the last 7 years here at home, 59-26. They are 26-5 in that span against non-conference opponents. And of course, South Alabama is a non-conference opponent out of the out of the Sun Belt Conference. Around the horn, Hill inside, and there's a whistle.
And Jacksonville State is purposely going to use Niago when he's in the game against this zone. They're going to flash him to the top of the lane, and there you saw Jacoby Hill fed him, and if they can get the ball to Niago there, he can turn and look downhill. Gamecocks can kind of attack the back end of the zone.
2 personal fouls on J.J. Wheat. And there's the inbounds. Nadozie to Fitzgerald. Here's Nadozie. Even though he's known for his defense, he can do that.
That was a nice job of penetrating. You saw that time the Jaguars had a couple of guys paying a lot of attention to Niagu at the kind of at the top of the key around the free throw line. That opened up the lane for Jacksonville State.
Of course, Niago is a 7-footer, if you're not familiar with the Gamecocks. So he is a factor on the inside. Shot clock at 3. And a long-range try by Adam Olson is off the mark.
This is outstanding defense
really
by Jacksonville State. They are really all up in the grill of South Alabama, disrupting their offensive flow. The shots have not been that good. They've had to force some at the end of the shot clock. Only 11 points here for South Alabama.
Fitzgerald missed that one. Here's J.J. Wheat with 2 personal fouls. Drives the paint, and it doesn't go on the running layup try. And now the Gamecocks come right back with Fitzgerald. Leaving it off for Jacoby. Niagu. Plenty of time. 13 on the shot clock. 8 minutes in the half. An air ball there out of the right perimeter. And South Alabama runs it up the floor, and it's swatted away off the foot of the Jaguars and out of bounds. We have a timeout here at the Pete Matthews Coliseum in Jacksonville, Alabama. It's all the home team here in the early going. Welcome back, everybody, as you look at official Doug Shows on the screen. And there you see this game a year ago. Of course, Jawatuka no longer here. The others are. And a 2-point affair last year down in Mobile.
Coach Harper got some of his starters back in there during this timeout. I don't think he kind of liked the way the game was going on the offensive end for his team. They were getting a little stale there with their shot selection. You build a big lead like this, Eli, you want to finish the half strong. We're under 8 minutes in the first half. Gamecocks with a nice lead. A great first half effort here at home.
And there's a pretty fall away by Jaden Cooper. The transfer from Faulkner.
Of course, one of those players back in the game after a rest, A.C. Bryant, who's 4 for 6 from 3.
Jaguars just 2 of their last 10 field goals. Meanwhile, the Gamecocks have been on a scoring drought for 2 minutes and 11 seconds. And it continues. Brady. Randy Brady leaves it off for Chase Harris. C-H-A-Z-E is his first name. And that was B-U-C-K-E-T.
Yes. And that was impressive. And that is his game. He is their best downhill attacker. And he got all the way in and laid it up against tough inside defense there by the Gamecocks.
A.C. Bryant, no. And the rebound goes out of bounds. It'll be it'll be South Alabama ball.
I think the Gamecocks would like to see a little more ball movement on the offensive end. Not as much dribbling around. Don't take the quick shot. Gamecocks move it a little bit better. Try to get the defense moving and get the open look a little easier than what they've gotten their last few trips.
There's a foul going to the window. It'll be Mustafa El Mutau Akil, his second.
Yeah, you saw he really hacked him there, no question about that.
By the way, the Gamecocks have now gone 0 for their last 4 from three-point range.
Yeah, and again, I think the Gamecocks have started to settle a little bit. You know, when you start off as hot as they did, sometimes you think every shot's going to go in, and you don't move the ball as much. You don't have as much body movement, ball movement. I think that's what Jacksonville State, they need to kind of move it around a little bit more on the offensive end.
And as you just saw, Olsen, that was just his 4th point. But it gives the Jaguars a 6-0 run in the last minute 23. And again, Olsen very, very good on the offensive side of things. Bryant. Erkins Ford.
Much better.
That's what you were talking about.
That's it. And you saw how open AC Bryant was as compared to the last shot he took. He was much deeper last time. He was even more defended, even though he was deeper. That time, better ball movement. Jay attacked the paint, collapsed the defense. AC wide open for a closer, much better three-point attempt.
Gamecocks have made 1 of their last 7. And that's a nice hook shot for Peyton Law. He had position inside. Now the Gamecocks run the floor. Nash.
There it
around
is.
the horn again. Shot doesn't go this time, but it's out of bounds off South Alabama. It'll be a Gamecock inbound directly in front of the USA bench as AC Bryant takes a breather, and Jamar Franklin, a former South Alabama Jaguar, he'll check into the ball game. He played for South in 2022 and 2023.
And he's a very capable three-point shooter as well. Working the baseline right now.
Shot clock at 3. No good. Rebound pulled off by Law. They leave it for Harris. Harris accelerates, bumps, goes to the window. And what are they going to call? Yes, that'll be a goaltending call. It is a goaltending call, as Doug Shows just reaffirms to us.
Yeah, there you see the replay, and official right on top of that. Nice little run here, Eli, by South Alabama. They've outscored Jack State 10-3 since that last time out. So they've kind of settled down a little bit on the offensive end.
Yeah, they've made 4 of their last 5 field goals. Franklin, Jacoby Hill, and nobody on the receiving of that end of that one. Amondrick Erkins Ford was intended, but the pass was off the mark, and he didn't expect anything.
He was at the free throw line again. Jack State trying to show a presence in the center of that zone, but you got to be careful when you go in there. There's a lot of hands, and that time Gamecocks turning it over.
Olsen, no good. Jaguars have cut the Gamecock lead in half. It had been 16. It's now 8. Alley-oop. Got it. That was a beauty to Bensal Vungo. That was pretty.
That is what is also open in the back of that 1-3-1 zone, or if you get a little high in the 2-3. Jack State has got the athleticism to run that baseline, as I just showed you there. Beautiful pass, too.
Harris. He goes and gets hit as he penetrates. And the foul will be on Jay Nash. It'll be the first on Nash. And we have a timeout, but the crowd electrified with this. As were we. We're back right after this with a 10-point JSU lead. Welcome back. The gentleman on the left, that's Greg Seitz, athletic director here at JSU. The gentleman in the black sweatshirt that says Jack State on it, Charles Kelly, the head football coach of the first place Gamecocks. And on the extreme right with the red tie, that's Dr. Don Killingsworth, the president of Jacksonville State University. They don't miss many games at all.
No, a good support here, and obviously good turnout overall. This is a building that's got a lot of fans in it. A lot of electricity in this game.
Off the missed free throw, Jacoby Hill sets up Nash against the zone. Nash. 9 on the shot clock. Franklin gets it knocked out of his hands. Turnover number 4 on the Gamecocks. They run it and go around the horn. Jaden Cooper for 2.
South Alabama much more settled on the offensive end, and that was a good defensive stop they had a moment ago that fueled their transition offense. They got down the court in a hurry and with a nice finish.
The zone is working for the moment for South Alabama. Nice screen set. Franklin won't go, but there is battling underneath, and the foul on Jacksonville State. It'll be the second on Bensal Vungo.
And that was a good box out by Brady. Matter of fact, the Jaguars overall are doing much better boxing out. When you're in the zone, you have to turn and find someone and take responsibility for boxing out your area, and they haven't had as many leaks on the rebounding block as this first half has moved along. Much better job.
Brady with the free throw. He has another one coming. A win tonight for South Alabama would tie the best record to start a season in the school's history. They'd be 6-0. The whistle underneath and the foul. The officials calling it fairly but tightly. The inbounds. Jacoby, Hill, Bryant and Hill. You know who's not been a factor tonight is Mustafa. He's been on the bench.
Well, it's not really his kind of game. He's going to thrive in a man-to-man type situation where he can attack the basket. So that is why Jack State's going to have to look for other guys to put the ball in a hoop against this zone. They're going to see it for the rest of the game.
A reverse layup, no. Tip won't go. Loose ball knocked free. And the arrow is in JSU's favor. I'll tell you, these are two scrappy teams.
Yeah, very physical.
Darn sure, yep.
Very physical game, clean game, but very physical. A little bit of a rivalry element to it, as you would expect.
Again, they're from different conferences. South Alabama from the Sun Belt, led by James Madison and Arkansas State. Troy, Old Dominion, Marshall, Appalachian State, Texas State, Louisiana, Georgia Southern, Georgia State, Southern Miss, Coastal Carolina, and Louisiana Monroe. And there's a travel. Doesn't matter what conference you're in, they're going to call that one.
Yeah, Jacoby Hill, I think Coach Harper's really coaching him up here. Jacoby is just a freshman, a true freshman. But I think there's some opportunities he's had to put the ball in the air, maybe being a little too unselfish. Like to see Jacoby Hill get a little more assertive on the offensive end. I think he could help his team. 3 times All-State
in high school at Central of Phoenix City. Reversing, and no, it won't go. Good defense by the Gamecocks. Erkins Ford. Now Nash. Inside a minute remaining in the half. A rapidly played first half. Ball knocked loose. Turnover against the Gamecocks. There's 7. Brady brought it up the floor. Gives to Harris. Harris. And there's the foul as they drop it off to Peyton Law in the paint. Remember, in the paint, South Alabama has 296 points in the paint to only 146 for their opponents. And here right now, points in the paint, 12 for South and 10 for JSU. And we have a timeout being taken by South Alabama. Three turnovers in the last 3 minutes, 4 in the last 5 minutes, and a 3-minute, 8-second scoring drought for the Jack State Gamecocks. But they did have a comfortable lead. It was 16, and now it's only 7.
Yeah, South Alabama has just settled into the game much better, and they're finishing this first half strong. It's going to give them some momentum headed into the locker room and confidence for the second half. But, you know, since we had the media timeout at the under 8-minute mark, Jack State held a 15-point lead, and South Alabama has outscored Jack State since then 13-5. And the Gamecocks are, as you mentioned, definitely in a drought on the offensive end.
Peyton Law, the transfer from Freed Hardeman, former NAIA All-America. He's at the free throw line. And he makes that one go. 31-25, 30 seconds to go in the half. Shot clock and game clock are identical. So the Gamecocks can drain it all here. This collapsing zone. Nash, left side, penetration, finger roll, no. Niago lost it. 3 seconds, 2, 1, and no shot. No shot for Jaden Cooper, and we have come to the half with a 31-25 lead for Jack State.
Well, Jack State comes out and they really hit the Jaguars in the mouth early, but nice response by South Alabama. Much better action on both ends of the floor. Played very well the last 8 minutes of the first half and cut into this Gamecock lead, and a good one here at halftime.
Again, a lot of turnovers here this evening, and that's been a storyline. 8 turnovers for the Gamecocks. We'll talk more about it when we come back to Jacksonville. We're happy to be here. It's a good ball game. I was even checking quickly with the officials, who again have all worked the Final Four, and they said, "What a good ball game." I said, "Yeah, it is."
Yeah, if you like the grinded out type of game, the defensive struggle, that's what you've got here, and it'll be interesting to see if the Gamecocks can, where they go for offense, Eli. They got the great start from AC Bryant. He's got 5 threes in the first half, but things kind of quieted down for the Gamecocks offensively down the stretch of the first half as they went cold, and South Alabama definitely is much more settled into this game on both ends.
South Alabama in the red, Gamecocks in the gray with the red. Just beginning the second half, and inside off the baseline. Count it for Chase Harris.
Yeah, he's really come on, and he is getting to the basket now. Jack State really hasn't had an answer for his game.
Yeah. He's total 6 points on the night. Leading scorer is Cooper with 8 for South. Leading scorer in the ball game is Bryant. He has 15 for Jack State.
And it's more than just the 8 for Harris. It's been his ability to break the Gamecock defense down and find some open teammates.
Good point. Here's the feed inside Mustafa, just at the expiration of the shot clock.
And you mentioned his kind of not being a big part of the first half, and even though this is not a typical Mustafa game against a zone, I do think Jack State is going to try to find a way to get him more involved here in the second half, as they showed just right there, getting him the ball and him being able to get to the basket.
Whistle, and the ball doesn't go in. So the personal foul on Emondrick Erkins Ford. It'll be the third on the junior from Chicago. And here's Peyton Law. NAIA All-America, played at Freed Hardeman. Averaged 16.2 a ball game in his final season there. And it's a 4-point affair. Down from a 16-point JSU lead. Here's Jacoby Hill. Erkins Ford around the horn to Hill. Deep right corner. Off the side of the iron. AC Bryant missed it. South runs the floor. And they stop and let everybody go by and lay it in for two. Pretty play for Chase Harris. And it's a 2-point ball game. South Alabama coming back from 16 down. There's the reverse. Count it. And the foul. Erkins Ford picks up the whistle on that shot.
And that's a good job by Jack State. They need to attack that baseline more and more. You can see they've done that twice already to start the second half with Mustafa a moment ago. Here with Erkins Ford, because if you can put some pressure behind the top of that zone on the baseline, South Alabama won't be able to come out and attack and extend that defense as much.
The foul on Chase Harris, but the Gamecocks can't add the point. There's the hook, and nobody's at the baseline. Adam Olson and Peyton Law looking at each other and said, "What did you see?" And he said, "No, what did you see?" Well, nobody went for the basketball. Nice dribble between the legs, leaving people in his wake, and a foul call.
Yeah, that made Coach Harper a little nervous over there. He said, "Yeah, Jay, you need to calm down just a bit, trying to dribble through too many landmines right there."
Peyton Law with that personal foul, his first. Left side alone for three. Got it. Count it. I'll tell you.
I like how he keeps shooting, even though he missed that one from the baseline badly a moment ago. He didn't hesitate right there, and that's what shooters do. You forget the last miss, and you keep shooting.
He's now got 18.
Jack State with a little zone look here.
Turn around over the zone for Peyton Law. And a whistle. So a timeout. It'll be a full timeout as we break away. 33-28. Jack State on top by a handful when we return. There's Richie Riley, the head coach of the JSU Jaguars. 10th year overall, 8 years at South Alabama. He was at Nichols State prior to heading to Mobile. 171 and 122 his career coaching record, as now Hill dishes. Mustafa to Hill. Trying to drive and losing it, but the dish, and it's inside, laid in by Emondrick. Erkins Ford. Did he lose it, or was that deliberate?
I think he lost it and regained it, and that was a good job by Jay Nash. He is being more aggressive here to start the second half. Sure, the Jack State coaches talked to him about, we can't just stand around at the top of this zone and throw the ball around for 35 seconds. We've got to create something, and Nash has been doing that.
Peyton Law. He's got 11 now to take the lead in scoring for South Alabama. AC Bryant with 18 leads all scorers. And the ball will stay with Jacksonville State. Niago comes in for JSU. Stephen Williams, number 3, checks in. He was the class valedictorian in high school. Valentine. Well, excuse me, Williams, excuse me. And there's the layup that won't go down. Rebound taken. Gamecocks directing traffic. Long range. Got it. Got it. AC Bryant. 21 points for him.
And that open shot all started with an aggressive move by Jacoby Hill. And speaking of aggressive moves, another one by Harris.
Yeah, Chase Harris went right to it, and there it's turned over by the Gamecocks, and it goes out of bounds, and we have a timeout. Timeout, 15:22 to go in the ball game. A 6-point lead for the home team. That was before the ball game. On the right, that's John Broom, the senior, excuse me, the redshirt sophomore for South Alabama, and his mom, who was Tracy Linton when she played here. Tracy still working at Jacksonville State. Mom had a great career here, didn't she?
She really did, and it was good to see John. He got on the floor about a little over 2 minutes in the first half. Didn't take a shot, but I had the opportunity to do a number of his high school games, including a state championship game where his Jacksonville high school team won a state title. So he's a good kid, raised well, good mom, good family.
Yeah, and he lost 20 pounds over the summer. He almost looks too skinny. There's a turnover. And a foul underneath. No whistle, but it does go out of bounds off South Alabama. Yeah, he lost 20 pounds over the summer and was picked to the 3rd team All Sun Belt Conference in the preseason. Wishing him the very, very best.
Yeah, I would think that John would be putting on the weight, not taking it off.
There he is, 14.
6'5".
Yeah, that is him right there. Twice a state champion at Jacksonville High School. Mustafa Niago.
I know that shot didn't fall, Eli, but I think that was a great job to force that into Mustafa, get him involved, because he can make that shot down low against the zone.
That one doesn't go, but there's a foul on Jack State. Niago will pick up his 2nd personal foul.
That is the first 3-point attempt from Jacoby Hill in this game. I mentioned in the first half that Jacoby was being very unselfish and passing up some potential open looks.
Yeah.
I think he's got to pull the trigger when the ball moves and hits him and he's open. I think he's got to shoot with confidence and not worry about missing it. As you can see that time, I think his coaches instructed him to take the shot when it presents itself.
Turned over by South Alabama. They're standing out of bounds. Yeah, Jacoby was 6 of 11 in trays coming into the ball game today.
He's just a very good kid. He's very unselfish. He's committed himself to learning and working on the defensive structure that the coaches have in place here. But at some point, this young man can help his team on the offensive end.
AC Bryant around to Jay Nash, who fakes the left side toss. Mustafa knocked out of his hands. Turnover against the Gamecocks.
That's about the 4th time they've gone to Mustafa, so they're obviously trying to get him involved on the offensive end.
It's going to be the 10th turnover on the team, which turns into a basket going the other way. Give the points to Chase Harris.
I tell you, he is really dialed in. You can see the look on his face. He is locked in on both ends of the floor and has really done a good job bringing some life and energy to this team here tonight. And they got off to such a slow start.
Mustafa out to Bryant. Floater too strong. And it's knocked out of bounds by the Gamecocks. No field goals in their last 5 tries, 1 of their last 7, and a scoring drought for Jack State of 2 minutes and 31 seconds. The inbounds by Randy Brady. Harris. Behind the back. Lowers the shoulder. Outside. It rims out for Law. They had the idea, but the shot just didn't go.
Notice how Harris backed his guy down and kind of collapsed the defense, created that open 3. Even though the Jaguars missed it, it was a good look.
And the Gamecocks miss an NBA 3 off the hands of AC Bryant. Niago flies through the air, and the ball comes out for a 3 from Randy Brady. The transfer from Chattanooga. He's got 4 points today, and it's a 7-0 run now, which has drawn South Alabama to within 1. A 7-0 run. Looking, and a reach in. Grab the jersey. That'll be Brian Hawthorne committing the personal foul. It'll be his first.
Harris a little winded. He's getting a breather, but I don't expect him to be on the bench long, but he's played a lot of minutes tonight.
Yep.
A lot of high impact minutes as well.
Here's Mo to the right side perimeter. An air ball thrown up by Hawthorne. Or excuse me, by Nadozie, excuse me. And there's the reach in by Nadozie. It'll be his second personal foul. Toby Nadozie played at Maryland Eastern Shore and Coppin State before coming to JSU. And we have a timeout with 11:53 to go in the ball game. What had been a 16-point lead for JSU is now just a point. Welcome back, everybody. Look at those numbers. Jay Nash, number 3 for Jack State. Chase Harris, number 2 for South Alabama. See the assist numbers, of course, to credit him. Harris has 12 points. Nash has no points tonight. So they have both contributed in their own way. And there's the layup, putting USA back on top by 1 point. Second time tonight that they have led. They led by 2 points in the opening half. Mustafa to Bryant. Baseline move to Niago for 2. Yaroslav Niago, the transfer from Charlotte and Southern Cal by way of the Russian junior national team. Outside, Niago comes, didn't touch it, but he certainly distracted Cooper. And now the Gamecocks run the floor. Mustafa wanted to shoot it. Fitzgerald does for 3. His second tray of the night for Marcus Fitzgerald. Gamecocks back out on top by 4. Oh, nicely done. Falling away, J.J. Wheat, and the foul. That was impressive. Marcus Fitzgerald picks up his first personal foul.
Spectacular move, as you see on the replay. He's only 6 foot going in against a 7-foot Niago. Extended that arm, nice kiss off the glass, a chance to complete the 3-point play.
Here's Wheat. A 2-point affair. And a timeout is being taken. No, they're not going to call it. They're going to call the personal foul before Coach Harper called the timeout. It's going to be the third on Chase Harris.
Yeah, Nadozie had got himself in a little bit of a pickle
in a
there.
Jam,
was doubled there, and you thought the Jaguars were about to knock the ball loose, but they commit the foul.
Fitzgerald. Nadozie. Fitzgerald for three off the front of the rim. Gamecocks at 38% from Treyland, but the Gamecocks can't stop everything, and that was a pretty penetrating move by South Alabama.
Yeah, Harris didn't stay on the bench long, got a short breather, comes right in and impacts the game. When he gets downhill, he's 6'6", good extension, he's hard to stop.
And there's a reach-in foul. So the foul on Harris, it'll be his foul. It's going to be 3 on him, 3 on Wheat. Fitzgerald, Nadozie. Good ball movement. The shot just won't go down. Gamecocks, only 2 of their last 12 field goals.
Good box out by Peyton Law as South Alabama limits Jack State to 1 shot on that trip.
And there's a foul inside, and that time he didn't mean to do it, but Marcus Fitzgerald found himself with a handful of face. And the whistle. Coach Harper now doing some significant substituting. Niago sits. Amandrick Erkins Ford checks in, among others. Peyton Law dribbles on Erkins Ford. Shot doesn't go. Rebound, JSU. Up the floor, Nadozie. And it's knocked out of bounds. It'll be Gamecock ball in the corner. 26 on the shot clock, as you see there on the bottom of the screen. Good crowd on hand here tonight for this in-state battle. And now, as Randy Brady leaves, Adam Olson will check in. Long-range tray, rims out. Mustafa, fall away, yes, and a foul. Mustafa El Mutau Akil.
Mustafa getting himself involved by attacking the offensive glass, taking advantage of not being boxed out. As you'll see on the replay, Franklin was wide open. Look at Mustafa. Get around Law, then go up strong, knock it in, and maybe that'll get him going.
He does can the extra point. Peyton Law commits his 3rd personal foul in that exchange. 3-point lead. Gamecocks, if you're just joining us, led by 16 early. South Alabama has led by 2 a couple of times tonight. In the paint, no. Rebound. Law outside, shot no good. Rebound, JSU. Here's Jay Nash bringing it up the floor, and the coach says take your time. So he does. Around the horn, Bryant to Mustafa. He'll drive on the baseline, floats into the paint, and Hans Louis June could only watch defensively. 5-point lead for JSU.
5 straight points by Mustafa as well.
A scoring drought for South Alabama of 2:15, and there the exchange of turnovers. Both teams can't live with the basketball.
Nice job by Harris. He knocked it away from Nash from behind. Harris impacting this game in so many ways. Even though he doesn't have a high assist number, he's made some great passes. His teammates have to convert the shot for it to go down as an assist.
There's an underhand pass that deflects out of bounds, and we have a timeout here in Jacksonville. Timeout at Pete Matthews Coliseum. We've got a good one going. Glad you're with us here on ESPN+. Welcome back, everybody. Getting set for the inbound under the basket to our right. South Alabama flips it into Olsen. Harris. Nicely done. Let the defense go by. Forced them to go by.
Harris, what a night. Eli, he is 8 for 10 from the floor. You talk about efficient.
That's an efficient shot right there as the Gamecocks come right back and answer.
Gamecocks starting to get some offense from someone other than number 0, AC Bryant, who just a few moments ago had half of Jack State's points. But you've seen Mustafa kind of come alive with 5 points here. And you see Franklin there with a nice shot.
Yep, the former South Alabama Jaguar against his old team. And there's a whistle with body work underneath. Over the top. Emondrick Erkins Ford. It'll be his third. And at the line is Peyton Law. Averaging 13.6 a ball game. He's got 11 here tonight. And now 12 with one more to go. So he's right on his average of 13 points a ball game. You know, you take a look at these guys for South Alabama, though, you realize who started and who's playing. The starters have scored 71% of their points. That's what is going for South Alabama. And a block, and the follow-up by Law. A 3-point lead. Long-range shot doesn't go. Jamar Franklin had the feeling. Inside, too much English on the layup by Adam Olsen. Put a lot of spin on that one and kicked off the backboard. Here's Nash. Franklin, the three. Got it. Count it for Franklin. His second tray of the night against his old team.
Great look by Nash. That was corner to corner pass. Franklin was set up, caught the ball, did not hesitate. Great catch and shoot there by Franklin.
Harris. Law. And there's a whistle as Cooper penetrates. And the foul. It's going to be the fourth on Emondrick Erkins Ford. Cooper's going to be at the line for South Alabama. The officials talking something over, and they want to have a discussion. Doug Schau's on the left. He came over and said, let's take a look at it, as he talks to Joe Lindsay, who is the other official there on the right. The third one is Olandis Poole, who pivots into view there on the right side. And again, not to belabor the point, but these three men have all worked the Final Fours in their careers. A great, great officiating crew. Doug Schau's on the left. He'll be going from here to Rupp Arena. He'll work there this weekend. And then he's going to the Cayman Islands to work a tournament there over the Thanksgiving holiday. You going to the Caymans too?
No, but I may turn on the TV and see if I can see him.
Yeah.
He says he loves coming here, makes his home not too far from here, and loves to come to do games here at Jacksonville State.
Yeah, he's not from Alabama. He's from Rome, Georgia, but he does enjoy coming here. As a matter of fact, all three of the gentlemen said this was going to be a good ball game, and they were right. But they're still trying to decipher what they've come up with. Here comes Olandis Poole. Okay. You heard him say we had the foul on the wrong person. He said it was not on 13. It is on 11. So Jamar Franklin picks up his first. And Emondrick Erkins Ford sits with 3. That's what the discussion was about. Either way, Jaden Cooper gets the free throw to fall. And now leaving is Ford. Niagu checks back in with 5:20 remaining in the ball game. Time winding down. Jay Nash inside. Mustafa out to Nash. Back to Mo. He'll feed the left corner. And a tray doesn't go down. Niago tried to get the rebound. Couldn't, as Chase Harris comes up with it.
Doing
everywhere.
Yeah,
Harris
he is. That's his 5th rebound.
Yeah.
And pushes up the floor and makes that happen.
Yeah, Peyton Law finishing it up. And it's now a 2-point ball game. Jack State up 59-57, as you see. Around to the left side. Mustafa for 3. And the rebound pulled down by Jaden Cooper. Driving in, they kick it outside to take the lead. And they do. 60-59. A 1-point lead for South Alabama. And now the Jaguars have the rebound. Running the floor in a hurry. Niago knocks it away. The big guy didn't even leave his feet. He was there with arms extended. Around the horn, Nash. Mustafa. Out to Franklin, who misses. And timeout is being taken by South Alabama. Timeout by South Alabama. Gamecocks have gone 0 for their last 4. A scoring drought of 2 minutes and 8 seconds, allowing South Alabama to have a 7-0 run. We're coming back. Don't go away. Welcome back, everybody. Down to the nitty-gritty with 3:34 to go. Eli Gold, Mickey Shadricks. And look at that. Jay Nash, 10 assists at his old school, has tied that career high with 10 here tonight. So he's done himself a good job dishing the basketball.
Yeah, he's been aggressive and has made a lot of things happen. And that's not easy to do against the type of defense South Alabama has been playing tonight.
Floating at the baseline. No. Return over the head. Count it for 2. Chase Harris. I understand he's driving the bus tonight down to Mobile after the game. He's done everything else.
Incredible night.
Driving the paint, and there's a reach-in foul. It's going to be Peyton Law picking up his 4th. So Law with 4 personal fouls. the Gamecocks scoring drought. 2 minutes and 42 seconds now. At the free throw line, Jay Nash with the 1-and-1. First free throw of the night, no good. Harris brings it across the timeline. His head coach says, you stay right there. He does stop while they readjust a couple of positions. Cooper. Harris inside, driving to the window, and around Niago goes Peyton Law. Law
took it right at the 7-footer too, Eli.
Yeah,
that
playing
was
with
impressive.
4 fouls too. It's gutsy. Into the paint, Nash. Left side, 3, got it. Jamar Franklin, and a timeout for Jacksonville State. Jamar Franklin, again the former Jaguar, makes it a 2-point ball game, 64-62. Looking ahead, Jack State will play again on the 24th. That's 5 days from now when they go to Arkansas State. That's next up on the Gamecock schedule. There you see. They'll also play North Dakota State at Arkansas State. Then they'll be home on December the 1st. We'll have that for you here on ESPN Plus and on down the line. For South Alabama, they too are going to be busy over the holiday. At UAB, at Texas San Antonio, at East Texas, at North Texas, and at Louisiana Monroe. So they're going to tonight play the first of 5 in a row away from the Mitchell Center.
Big defensive opportunity here for Jacksonville State after the 3 by Franklin, cutting it to 2.
The Jaguars trying to match their best start to a season ever. Gamecocks trying to stay undefeated as well. Here's Mustafa to Nash. Bryant staying on the perimeter. Mustafa. What a gyrating move, but he couldn't get it to go, and it's out of bounds. It'll be South Alabama ball. A minute 21 to go.
Coach Harper wants a little full court press here to put a little pressure on the Jaguars, bringing it up the floor.
The inbounds gets to Adam Olson. Mustafa picks him up. And into the forecourt, Randy Brady from Chattanooga. One minute remaining in regulation play. Over the top. No good. Rebound, Brady. That was big. And a 3 by Adam Olson. That was huge. Olson with 4 points, but the Gamecocks come back with a tray of their own. And we're all even. Well, not quite. 67-65. Back to a 2-point ball game with 39.3 remaining.
That was a great rebound by Randy Brady over AC Bryant. Didn't commit the foul. Bryant thought he had him blocked out, but Brady able to get the rebound and found Olsen, who's been kind of quiet. He hit 6 threes in their last game and hit a big one there. But then what about AC Bryant? He's obviously been the key cog for Jacksonville State tonight offensively. Comes down and hits a big three. No quit in either one of these teams. And that bucket by Bryant takes it back to a 2-point game, of course.
24 for him. His career best was 39 against Jackson State a year ago. But his points have been big tonight.
Another thing that's been big in this game, Eli, has been South Alabama's ability to defend Jack State, but not put them at the free throw line. Gamecocks have only gone to the line 4 times in this game. South Alabama's shot 18 free throws. So when you've only been to the line 4 times and there's 39 seconds left in the game, that's a big stat.
11 of 18 for South, 1 of 4 for Jack State from the charity stripe. They are drying the court, as you see near the top of your screen. And Randy Brady gets set to inbound it against the defense of Amondrick Erkins Ford. Far side, they run the floor. Tight defense. And timeout being taken. A timeout being called. And it's going to be a full timeout, it looks like, with 34 seconds remaining in regulation play. The last 2 unbeaten major Division I teams in the state of Alabama. Everybody else, from Alabama to Auburn to Samford, everywhere you look, everybody else has at least 1 loss. Some have more than that. There again, you see what the state of Alabama looks like. Everybody has at least 1 loss, exclusive of these 2 teams. And one of them will join that ignominious list tonight.
Yeah, 1 will be left standing after the next 34 seconds if we do end this in regulation. The situation for Jacksonville State, there's a 9-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Gamecocks don't have to foul. They can play out the possession, hope to get a stop, and still have at least 9 seconds, and they have another timeout. So we'll see how Coach Harper chooses to play it here defensively when we inbound the ball.
South Alabama picked to finish 3rd in the Sun Belt Conference behind James Madison and Arkansas State. Jacksonville State picked middle of the pack in Conference USA. This is a dandy of a ball game. And it's nearly stolen and a shove out of bounds by AC Bryant. AC Bryant going forward. It'll be a 1-and-1 shooting situation.
Yeah, Bryant thought he had a chance for the steal. He wasn't trying to foul there. He was just trying to take advantage of what he thought was an opportunity to come up with a ball.
Franklin checks in. Erkins Ford leaves. And Chase Harris. He's 0 for 3 from the free throw line tonight. Now he decides to make one.
That's the reverse jinx, I guess.
I guess.
Not surprised he comes through in the clutch here with the type of game he's had.
19 points for Harris.
He's played the most minutes. He's done it all, but he does leave the door open there for Jack State.
A tray would tie it. Hill. Saved and thrown out of bounds. Thrown out of bounds. And Erkins Ford will check in for JSU, replacing Franklin.
Gamecocks were handling the ball really high out that time near the mid-court line, and that pass from Hill to Nash had a little bit of a spin on it, and Jay just couldn't handle it, and his pass back in bounds was errant.
And there's a reach-in foul by Hill. It'll be the second on Jacoby. You see the story right there. 3 points with 19 and a half to go. Olsen at the line. A 92% free throw shooter. And that was a big one. Makes it a 4-point ball game. In and out, no good. Need a quick basket. And then a rebound. Inside, layup, no. Rebound, 10 seconds. And a foul. It'll be a two-shot opportunity here. Foul goes on Jamar Franklin. It'll be his second. And a two-shot opportunity for South Alabama. Some of the fans begin to head to the exit, while the USA fans are cheering behind their bench across the way. That one was good, and that one, I'm afraid, may well, for the Gamecocks, end up sealing this one for the other guys.
South Alabama now, regardless of whether he makes this or not, they do not want to foul Jacksonville State with only 9.8 remaining.
Another free throw by Brady. South is hanging back. Long range tray, no good. 3 seconds, 2-1, and that is the ball game. 71-65. USA a winner, 71-65 over the Jack State Gamecocks. It was an enjoyable game, far more so for the South Alabama faithful who made the drive up from Mobile. But the win goes to South, 71-65.
Yeah, and you've got to tip your hat to South Alabama, especially falling behind as much as they did in the first half. They really got settled down toward the second part of the first half, played a great second half. They came in here into the Peach, shot 49% from the field, and again only put Jack State at the free throw line 4 times, turned the Gamecocks over 12 times. So congratulations to South Alabama. Excellent game. Jacksonville State did get the big game from A.C. Bryant. 24 points, hot shooting from 3. That'll be something that can pay off for the Gamecocks down the road, as they saw a defense tonight, Eli, that you don't see every night, and that is something that'll pay dividends for the Gamecocks down the road.
Bryant, the only man in double figures for Jack State, while Harris had 19, Law had 18, and Cooper had 13 for South Alabama. So it's in the books here, and we thank you so much for joining us. For Mickey Shadricks, I'm Eli Gold saying so long from Jacksonville, Alabama, where the final score is South Alabama 71, Jack State 65. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and are archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.